is an ever-growing genre that continues to glorify itself as one of the best genres in the anime industry, though, let's be honest, not every isekai that comes out is great, as many of them tend to be generic trash. However, some underrated isekai that I know of proved themselves worthy and have leveled up drastically. This is the day where I give you guys the perfect underrated isekai anime series to watch that you may have missed out on. Why don't we start with something more simple yet fun and pretty damn predictable, I'd say. But that doesn't really mean it's all that bad of a show. Chillin' in another world with my level 2 super cheap powers. This protagonist looks weak, but as soon as he reached level 2, let's just say things got interesting because he got very overpowered because his abilities are equivalent to cheat skills that made him broken. What is more exciting is a big white wolf decides to call the guy a master after noticing how powerful he really is. That wolf can turn into a hot anime waifu that everyone will certainly enjoy because that, my friends, is where the real fan service lies. What happens when a happy and joyful loving life turns into a harsh reality when your own parents disown you, kick you out of the village, and leave you out there in the wilderness to survive by picking up trash? The Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash is a beautiful anime, both sadness and adventure, of a young girl who is born starless, meaning with no future or power. Upon getting tested for her stars, people without them are usually labeled as cursed children and are then kicked out of the village. Now, this poor young girl is left all alone surviving by picking up trash to sell stuff and earn enough to eat. But all that changes when she meets a cute little slime creature of super rare status that accompanies the girl on her journey to find her rightful place in this world. This here is a very underrated anime of an otaku elf girl from another world that is summoned to Japan at a shrine and becomes a huge otaku after getting exposed to, well, obviously its culture. Otaku Elf is a reverse isekai and a comedy that is hilarious to watch with goofiness and entertainment. Watch as this elf goes from playing games, eating snacks, collecting toys, and overall being a complete shut-in while she lets the young shrine maiden, 16-year-old girl, do all the housework and she just, gets lazy. Somehow, the elf girl does need to interact with humanity, otherwise she will continue living her life as a shut-in, miserable otaku. You know, it's pretty much true as they all say, because once you go to another world, you can't really go to another because that is forbidden. No Longer Allowed Another World is about a guy named Dazai who is an author that dies with his beloved, but is sent to another world without her and is left to suffer on his own. Now, he wishes to do nothing but die and attempts to die in multiple ways, but he is unable to because he is not allowed to go to the world after already being in one. He may seem weak with only one hit point to his name, but, he is actually immune to poison that can kill anything. Accompanying him is a beautiful elf and a cat girl by his side as they adventure together and have a wild, crazy adventure like nothing before. The current Demon King is no longer active as the throne is now open to be claimed. That is where Ishura comes into place for this list. This is a hot, battle royale styled anime across 2 seasons with characters from different worlds entering one to fight and claim the throne for themselves in an epic action-packed series. these aren't just ordinary characters, but powerful beings with skill and talent, and only one of them will be crowned the brand new Demon King. Now, what if your life as a salaryman turns around when your boring job becomes much more interesting after getting summoned into the world by the great Demon Lord to work under him? Headhunted to Another World is underrated isekai without much action involved, and more about how an average weakling human becomes one of the heavenly kings and works for the Demon Lord himself with big benefits. Now, if you're wondering why a human was chosen to work there, it's actually because they needed someone smart with a business profile and someone with office skills who will surely be useful, but definitely not during combat. Loner life in Another World, except he's not really alone because during most of the entire show he's almost always with a companion rather than alone. But this anime is about a classroom that was summoned into the world, and we're given a selection of classes to pick from in turn. But poor Haruka, the protagonist, was last to pick among bizarre trash-looking skills and was given all of them because, they were weak anyway, so, just take them all. Now, to survive this world, Haruka actually needs to bring all of his classmates together, stop them from fighting, and to restore a peaceful relationship, all while being the loner hero he practically is, yet always gets the attention. Oh, and you want to hear the twist? Yeah, he's overpowered with those bizarre skills, I'm not gonna lie. Now, many people don't actually know about Rift. In fact, this is a Chinese donghua animation that has flown under many people's radar, but it remains to be a very solid show for you isekai fans out there. A strange rift or portal to another dimension has opened up that connects both worlds together, and monsters actually use these portals to invade and attack other worlds. Now, certain people are then chosen to protect humanity from those beasts at the rift using special powers and weapons. It's actually fairly simple of a show, like this has been done before and we've all seen it. However, the big issue I have is the protagonist of the anime. If you can like him enough, then you will get through this anime without issue. Here we have an average high schooler named Yuan on his way to an anime convention. Suddenly, he finds himself in another world, a fantasy world with magic and beasts and also demons. He fails an entrance exam and decides to become a gardener, where he learns about those fairy seeds and now aims to find fairy seeds or fairies scattered across the world as he becomes the new protagonist of this era. Yep, this is a generic donghua Chinese anime of an overpowered guy who gets demon powers. Simple as that, and it's straight to the point, but still a very good anime for you all to check out. And for the last recommendation on the video today, I'd like to include good old Failure Frame. If you need anything that comes remotely close to Arifureta, then Failure Frame is the go-to to check out, which follows a very identical concept of how a weakling protagonist is summoned to another world with his class, as he was a mere low E rank that got disposed of by the goddess. It turns out his status effect skills proved to be extremely overpowered and survived the horrors of the dungeon by killing every single mob, leveling up and reaching the surface. Now, he plans to kill the goddess for revenge, who did him dirty, and those classmates who even betrayed him. Well, I guess you could say the Isekai adventure has now come to a stop as you have reached the end of the video, and it's time today for farewell. But if you did enjoy the video, then please do drop a like to show your support and subscribe to stay notified of all my latest uploads here on YouTube. Take care, everyone, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one.